Long ago, in the village of Obiudo, where life was idyllic, the village flourished with abundance and peace. The fertile field yielded bountiful harvest, the rivers brimmed with life, and the villagers lived in harmony. The maidens of Obiudo, known for their breathtaking beauty and radiant smile, captivated all who saw them, while the men were hardworking and proud. Life in Obiudo was simple yet fulfilling. Among the men of Obiudo lived Anyanwu, a mysterious man of few words. He lived in a secluded part of the village, surrounded by dense trees and quiet paths. The villagers found him mysterious and would often gossip about him. Some said he was cursed, while many believed he harbored a dark secret. The men in Obiudo admired Anyanwu and wished to be him, but many also hated him and were jealous of him. Often, they would try making friends with him, hoping to find out what his secrets were. But Anyanwu chose to be more distant. The maidens of Obiudo were also drawn to Anyanwu's charm. They wished to be with him, and this only deepened the hate the men had for Anyanwu. Mothers warned their daughter to stay away from him, while fathers forbade them from even speaking of him. Anyanwu was a stranger in his own village, a man apart. Among the maidens of Obiudo was Ifoma, a very beautiful girl unmatched in the village. Ifoma was admired and loved by all who set eyes on her. Her charm even drew the attention of Prince Maduka. Prince Maduka would often bring gifts to woo her to be his wife. But Ifoma would tell him to be patient because she wasn't sure yet if what she had for him was love to be his wife or just friends. The village of Obiudo was a peaceful place until one evening. Anyanwu was returning from the forest with fresh bushmeat when he heard a loud scream. He quickly ran towards the sound. There, he saw a maiden in pain who had just been bitten by a venomous snake. Without hesitation, he knelt beside her and helped her tie the affected place in order to prevent the poison from spreading fast. He saved her and carried her back to his house. The following morning, when the maiden woke up, she was shocked to see who her savior was. It was Anyanwu, the strange man in the village whom she had only heard rumors about. Frightened, she slowly tiptoed towards the door, but his calm voice stopped her.
It is not right to leave without saying thank you.
His tone was gentle yet firm. Startled, she said, "I'm sorry. Thank you for saving my life," she said softly. "I'm Ifoma. It's nice to meet you, but I must leave now." With that, she hurried away, her heart pounding in her chest. When she got home, her parents were worried and questioned her seriously. She told them about the snake bite, but refused to disclose the identity of her savior. Days passed, but Ifoma kept thinking about Anyanwu. She found herself drawn to him and his mystery. Summoning her courage, she gathered a basket full of gifts and headed to Anyanwu's house to thank him. But deep down, she just wanted to see him again and talk to him. Anyanwu, on the other hand, thanked her but refused the gifts politely, and this only made her interest in Anyanwu grow even more. Despite his refusal, she visited him on several occasions, and a bond soon grew between them. They spent time fishing in the stream, hunting in the forest, and sharing meals in his home. Ifoma visited more often, and soon her thoughts of Prince Maduka faded, replaced by the image of the mysterious man who had captured her heart. Word soon spread in Obio though about Ifoma's frequent visit to Anyanwu. The maidens grew jealous, while the men, already envious of Anyanwu, now hated him completely. Ifoma's parents were also against a movement with Anyanwu and warned her to stay away from him. But Ifoma was determined. She was already in love with Anyanwu and nothing could stop her now. One evening, Prince Maduka had had enough and could no longer contain his frustration. He summoned Ifoma to the palace and questioned her seriously about the relationship between her and Anyanwu. When she refused to give him a satisfactory answer, he lost his temper and slapped her in a fit of rage. Ifoma, in shock, ran away from the palace, heading to Anyanwu's home. Anyanwu was livid when he heard about what had happened. He consoled Ifoma, holding her close as she wept. That night, Ifoma kissed Anyanwu, begging him to make love to her. But Anyanwu, though deeply in love with her, told her he would only do it the right way after he had paid a bride price and married her.
I do not want you to regret anything, Ifoma,
he said softly. This isn't about the prince. I love you, Anyanwu. You know I do, she replied softly.
I love you too.
Well, he struggled to resist her, but as she kissed him again, she slowly began to undress, and this made Anyanwu submit to her. They gave in to the passion they both felt. The next morning, as the sun cast its first ray over Obildo, Prince Maduka arrived at Ifoma's home with gifts, intending to apologize for his behavior. But when her parents informed him that she had not returned home, his heart darkened with rage and he was disappointed. Meanwhile, Anyanwu had gone to the stream to fish, leaving Ifoma to rest at home. As he got to the stream, he saw a woman lying near the stream, exhausted and in pain. He offered her water to drink and soon left for medicinal leaves. But as he got back with the leaves, he noticed she had vanished without any trace. Perplexed, he searched for her but found nothing. He got back to his main task there and returned home afterwards. When he got home, he realized that Ifoma wasn't home but assumed that she had left. He waited for her but she didn't return. Night fell, and as Anyanwu sat alone in his home, a loud bang echoed from his door. The door burst open, and before him stood the prince with some guards.
Seize him! That's the murderer!
The prince shouted with his voice filled with venom. Confusion gripped Anyanwu as he was dragged to the palace, where everyone, including the king, awaited him in anger. The villagers had gathered, their faces filled with anger and grief. Among them was Ifoma's mother, her eyes red from crying. "You killed my daughter, my only daughter," she screamed and slapped Anyanwu across the face. The crowd erupted in anger, their voices rising in a chorus of condemnation. "Murderer! Kill him! He deserved to die." Anyanwu, in shock, turned to the prince. "What happened to Ifoma?" he demanded. Soon, the guards came forward with Ifoma's lifeless body. As Anyanwu saw Ifoma's lifeless body, his whole world shattered. He screamed in pain and a broken heart, with rage boiling inside him.